Hello and welcome to music class. My name is David Klassy, but you will call me Mr. Klassy. I am your music educator. I am also a musical composer, performer, and arranger. We will learn about others like me throughout this year. Right now we're listening to David's Theme, my first composition that I wrote when I was 7 years old. You are hearing the beginning of Jive Talking by the Bee Gees. This was the #1 hit back when I was born, which maybe by the style of music may not sound too long ago, or perhaps maybe it does for some of you. Being in a military family, as were my parents, we moved around a lot, at least for the first few years that I was alive. I was born in Whidbey Island, Washington, as pictured on the last page. Then we moved to Memphis for about a year, and then to Maryland, and grew up the rest of my time there. Well, look at that. Did you know that I haven't always considered being a musician? I used to draw bridges. I used to draw a lot of things, but usually stuff that could be built, like bridges. And I had very good math. Believe me, architectural and engineering would have paid a lot better than teaching, but I love teaching. While we listen to another original composition of mine that was written for church choirs, I thought I'd show you what inspires me. This song is based on a biblical passage about eagles. However, I find that lighthouses inspire me to be creative and to have hope. As we're looking at these slides, we're listening to my favorite artist, Enya. We're also looking at pictures of where my first job was, the tackle box, which is like a miniature Cabela's. The church I went to growing up and got a lot of my start musically. My high school, Great Mills, and of course yet another bridge. And yes, those are pictures of me in my growing up years. And those are my parents. They're standing in front of my house, yes, a few years ago, the house that they built just before I turned 3, that they still live in today, despite the fact that Dad was Navy and was stationed there that many years ago. We were supposed to move again, but evidently they never did. I began my adult life 500 miles away from my parents in the hills of eastern Tennessee, or the southern Appalachian Mountains, and had a ball for 6 years living in the Knoxville area and near the Great Smoky Mountains. I wonder if that's why I moved to Montana, because I really like the mountains. In my previous 14 years of teaching, I have taught at a number of other schools. Generally, I have not stayed at any of them for more than 2 years. I am very happy where I'm at now. You'll see 3 other school districts in Montana, 4 districts in South Dakota, and 1 in eastern Tennessee, near where I went to college. And of course, we have my favorite reason for existing, my being a dad to my 3 daughters. They live with their mother in South Dakota, where the younger 2 of them were actually born. My oldest often goes by Klassy and went to high school for a short time at Flathead High and 8th grade at Kalispell Middle School. we have my oldest daughter, Katie. Here she is, several stages over the years. She's my main influence as far as keeping my guitar skills up. They weren't really all that important to me until a few years ago when she kind of picked it up on her own and became much better than I am, even today. This is my middle daughter, Hannah. She had a lot of health issues as a young child, but as you can see, everything turned out just fine. She learned how to ride bicycle before her older sister did, and she's even been in Flathead Lake digging up turtles, as you can see. Having a ball with that.
And we have my youngest daughter, Sarah. You might be able to tell that she has special needs. She has Down syndrome, so some things are delayed in what she learns. She's my only one that's actively involved in some kind of sports, and I kind of join in with her. She keeps me quite busy and really likes to do music in my studio.
Oh yes, I have pets. I've had a lot more over the years. I had up to 4 ferrets in college. I've had cats, parakeets, guinea pigs, hamsters, and fortunately now a roommate to help me take care of them because I am gone from the house quite a bit, taking care of things. Then we have my one and only sibling. She is currently stationed with her husband, active duty Air Force, both sergeants, in Okinawa. However, you'll see what I'm pleased to announce there at the bottom of the screen. And yes, I have a niece and a nephew. Glad to have them, and I'm going to be glad to have them closer to me soon. Sometimes being a teacher and having a personal life or family at home can be very difficult, as teaching is very time-consuming. I took a few years off and worked other jobs, and when I returned to Plains, Montana, teaching high school band and choir, and just loving it there. Love the mountains and love the valley.
Well, here we are, the first place in all the school districts I've taught where I actually wanted to stay for more than 2 years. I'm very happy to be at Marion, doing band, doing choir, doing regular music, and my first place where I began doing school counseling as well. Lots of fun, never a dull moment, very bright and colorful classroom. You're hearing another favorite song of mine. It mentions the eagle, which is the mascot of Alney Bissell School, the school I've been at now the least amount of time, but another school that I really enjoy teaching at. I created a very simple band arrangement of this song in the hopes that the band would enjoy playing it there. I'm also doing music and counseling. We have here the location of my newest job. This is, of course, part-time, a couple evenings a week and a Sunday. I direct choir at Bethlehem Lutheran Church, which is just 4 blocks from my house and studio near downtown Kalispell. I've been a member here for a number of years, and I'm happy to be on staff now.
In fact, I've been in the church music ministry industry much longer than anything else I've done in my life so far. And it's been a great way for me to get experience in a very non-pressure way, because your audiences are generally glad you're sharing your musical background with them. When I was 15, my home church in Maryland was donated a set of 2 octaves of handbells, which is what I have now. This resulted in my actually starting a bell choir group because nobody there in that church had ever done it. And then I began soloing on my own, just like you hear now. And of course, over the years, I get my experience and my joy and have a lot of fun singing with other people in the community, sometimes in church buildings as well. In the case of barbershop, we sing a cappella and very fun, fast-moving music. Yep, even I get some opportunities to sing alone in these choir concerts. Yes, I still get nervous, which in large part is why I like to sing in choirs. But it's an honor to be picked for a solo, and I work very hard for that honor. I also get the privilege to direct these groups sometimes. Music is not only what I teach and who I enjoy a lot, but it is really my hobby. All of my time I spend not teaching, I'm performing with others and learning to be a better musician myself, and of course working with others to be better musicians. So when you're comfortable enough with music, you can always use it for acting and telling stories, or in some of my cases in the past, just being the accompanist for the cast, or even being part of the pit band. Believe it or not, they use bands, small bands often, for small productions, and I have fun with that as well. And if I didn't already have enough to do, besides following the leader or sometimes being the leader, oh yeah, I am a leader in some cases. Shown here is just a few of the organizations that I'm involved in leadership in order to make things better, at least the way I think they could be. Yes, of course, I have a music studio myself, where like many other teachers, I teach one-on-one private music lessons for a modest fee, and of course I teach voice and piano, again, just like many other music teachers in the Valley do. My office is in downtown Kalispell. Just to show you a few more pictures, if I may, of some instruments that I can very comfortably teach in my private studio in town. Many of these instruments I'm hoping will have students play here at our school someday, and I hope to be teaching some of you those instruments one-on-one. Yes, I do like to get out and get away from things for a while. The 5 European countries I've been to are England, the Czech Republic, Slovenia, Austria, and Germany. Those pictures are quite old, and I'll have to get them scanned so you can see them sometime. Oh yes, I have many more like these, but I do have picture proof that I can be pretty hilarious when I want to be, and of course wear many different kinds of hats. Yes, if you look closely with the Easter Bunny, I am wearing my Walmart outfit and name tag when I was in Photo Center there.